Hi, this is Allison Profit, the founder and co-host of the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit, which is happening February 27th to the 29th, 2024. Today, I'm very excited to be joined by Dain Johnson of Rev Zero Consulting for his Summit Speaker Spotlight interview, so you can get to know him a little bit better. He's going to be a panelist at our event, and we're just going to dive right in. Hi, Dain. I'd love for you to start by introducing yourself and telling us a little about your business.
Sure. Yeah, thanks for having me, Allison. Dain Johnson with Rev Zero. I started Rev Zero about 7 years ago after 10 years working oil and gas as an engineer. And what I decided to do with this new business is to coach engineers turned managers. After working in the corporate world, seeing the awkwardness of that transition from technical expert to leader of people, I wanted to be a help in that transition. And so I have a program for new managers straight from engineer to their first management role. But then I also do private coaching all the way up to chief technology officers and CEOs. I work across industries, technical experts from aerospace to energy to manufacturing and IT. And it's just really cool to get to work with good people trying to build good businesses. And I've yet to meet a boss who wanted to be a bad boss. And so I love that I get to help them be themselves and grow into that good manager that they aspire to be.
Of course, the work that you do, Dain, resonates so deeply with me because of my background in HR. So I just really think the work that you do through your business is so important and critical because engineers are a critical part of a company. And often the good engineers get promoted because they were good engineers. And then they might fall down during their time into transitioning to leadership. So I love the work that you do. And I'd love for you to share with our audience, what does it mean to you to be a soulful entrepreneur?
Mm. Well, 7 years, it's been a very non-linear path as far as entrepreneurship goes for me. So I've had to learn some things the hard way. And for me, what it means to be a soulful entrepreneur is just being your whole self. It was very easy when I worked the corporate jobs to have my two selves. I'd have my work self and then my home self. I'd work hard and then play hard, right? That corporate mantra. And I was dissatisfied in that space because I didn't feel like I got to be myself. And so as an entrepreneur, it was easy to fall into that same trap and try to be on a certain way when I was selling or working with clients and then being someone different outside of that. So over the past few years, just being able to integrate all aspects of my life and show up whole into my engagements, and it's totally changed my approach to sales and also in working with clients. I feel like it allows me to serve better when I bring my whole self to it.
Mm.
And so, like I said, it's been a long journey to get there. It wasn't something that I could just read a book about and start doing, which as an engineer, I want to be able to just read a book and apply it. But yeah, I feel like I'm at a good place now because of that.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that transition of the kind of taking that whole self approach into your sales in just a moment. It sounds as though one of the things you had to do was release this old way of operating like you did in the corporate world. And the theme of this year's event is release. And one of the things that I have been saying is that releasing our old ways of being or our old stories or our expectations, it can be a tricky journey and it can be kind of heavy. Honestly, my philosophy is that joy is the best business strategy. And really think bringing joyfulness and fun and our whole selves into our work is so important, whether you're a business owner or not. So part of the way that we integrate fun into the summit is we ask all of our contributors to share what their go-to song is. And part of why we do that is we really want to know what gets you energized. So I'd love to know, what's the go-to song that you gave us and why is it the song that you chose?
I think I picked something from Imagine Dragons, and I was like, all right, what's kind of a pump me up song? I have two young boys, and they are constantly playing Imagine Dragons over and over. So there's something kind of fun about it for me, like when I just want to put on some rock and hear something loud, and also that it connects me with my boys. So that's really cool. But I love music. I kind of have a soundtrack to my day almost every day. So I have different things when I want to focus, when I want to release, when I want to relax. Like I always have music playing. But I picked Imagine Dragons just because I was like, oh, it's like a pump me up type of thing right now.
Yeah, I love that. I think the song specifically you chose was Thunder, but maybe we'll add some others to the playlist. So the playlist I'm talking about is we actually create a playlist every year that we do this summit of our contributors' songs. So it's really so that as an attendee, you can get energized and pumped up and excited about the summit as we lead up to it. We play the playlist throughout the event, also during breaks and things of that nature. And then we want you to have little memories, something to take you back to the summit experience afterwards. So you can kind of use this as a little reminder of the magic of the summit experience. So the link to those playlists will be in the video description below. So be sure to follow that and listen along whenever you want. So talk to us a little bit about, so you've done some client work with me
Mhm.
and we worked a lot around like the sales piece of things. And I'd love to know with regards to just the theme of release, what is it that you feel like you gained from our work together? And what did you feel like you
Mm.
really needed to learn how to release?
It's interesting that you talk about what did I gain while releasing, and I feel like as in the work that I do, that's so much of what my clients have to do is let go of your old job so that you can do your new one. And you and I work together on the sales side of my business, kind of a sales coaching. And for me, obviously, the biggest release was ego. Like, set my ego aside because what I'm trying to actually do, and you spotlighted this for me, is in the sales process is finding people that I am best positioned to serve. Who can I help? I'm not trying to sell to everybody. Not everybody is my client. Not everyone needs to be in my sales funnel. So initially, I thought it was going to be this focus on the sales process, how to move people through, but I released that piece of it, that it's not a sales process that I needed. It wasn't filling my pipeline. It wasn't my lead generator. It wasn't all these technical pieces. It was just simply that the people that need me, need my services, don't know that I exist. So they need to know that I exist. And the only way for them to know that I exist is if they meet me. And the only way they're going to meet me is if I get out somewhere and go where they are. So it totally changed my approach to going to conferences, introducing myself, not like I'm trying to impress anybody, just seeing if there's the connection, the opportunity to serve, the opportunity to help. So now, like, being able to bring my whole self to sales, I don't get nervous going to conferences because I'm not trying to impress anybody. Of the 1,000 people that are at the conference, I need to meet one. And there's been a couple times I've gone to conferences where I've met 20, 30 people, and none of them were the people that I needed to meet or needed to serve. And I'd tell myself, all right, let's go meet one more. So I'd go randomly meet one more person, and that one would be the connection I needed to make. So the release for me was the ego, but also the technical aspects of sale and this quota that I just had in my mind that I didn't need to have.
Yeah. And it's my understanding that you've really grown your business since we wrapped up our work together.
Yeah, and the nature of my work, it's a long sales process. Actually, I had a friend from college 14 years ago reach out to me last year. He's been seeing my stuff on LinkedIn. We haven't talked since college. So sometimes the people that hire me, the sales process, if you want to call it the sales process, is years long. Or even if someone meets me at a conference, it's probably going to be a few months before we're ready to work together.
Yeah, so cool. So obviously we'll share maybe a little bit more about that stuff during your contribution to the panel discussion, but what are you excited to bring to the summit attendees related to our theme and just in the panel conversation that we'll have?
I'm pretty involved with entrepreneurs, and I have been for the past, I don't know, 7 years since I became one myself. And just recognizing the similarities of journeys and how valuable other people's stories have been for me and encouraging that it has been to me. So I just hope to be the encouragement for others. But at the same time, I'm there to learn. My journey's not over. I want to hear from the people who are 3 steps ahead of me, what they learned to release and the benefit that has brought to them. Because there's always something to let go of. I keep
Yeah.
piling more on, but there's always something to let go of.
That's so awesome. And I kind of want to comment on something that you just said, Dane. Like, your ideal client isn't necessarily the solo entrepreneur, but you have been really involved, in particular, in our local entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I just want to say, I really admire that because I think that it's great, right? You're plugging into a community not for the sake of, "Oh, I'm going to grow my business because of that." I mean, sure, that might be an outcome of it, but I really love that about you and the way that you give back to the entrepreneurial community here in Northern Colorado. And I just wanted to
Thanks.
publicly acknowledge that.
Well,
Uh,
it is really nice to have community where you don't feel like you have to sell. And so that certainly helped me learn how to be my whole self. And yeah, entrepreneurs and startup community is not my marketplace. It's not where I'm selling. But so many of the people I hire to help me along the way are all local. I like working with small businesses.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to move into what we call our rapid fire round. Dane doesn't know what these questions are, so they're just four quick shoot and fire kind of questions. So, you ready?
Ready?
Early riser or night owl?
Early riser.
Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
What is the funnest memory you have from 2023?
Oh, took a road trip. Road trips are always my favorite memories. So road trip with my family, my wife and two boys. We drove down from Fort Collins down to Midland, Texas. It's a drive we have made dozens of times, but we took a different route. We went to the White Sands in Alamogordo and then Carlsbad Caverns. I've been to those places. I've seen them as kids at different stages of my life. But when you're traveling with your own kids and they're 8 and 10, the splendor of the White Sands and Carlsbad Cavern looks different through the eyes of your kids. So that was really awesome last year.
Oh, that sounds so fun. I can hear the memory kind of bubbling to the surface as you
Yeah.
talk about it. That's awesome. And then what's your biggest takeaway or what is the biggest thing that you've released from 2023? Answer that question in either way.
Thing I've let go of or released in 2023. Oh, something I'm still working on, but I've fallen into the bad rhythm from my corporate jobs of needing to be behind the computer from 8 to 5. So instead of trying to manage my time, I'm trying to manage my energy. And instead of sitting down at my inbox and waiting for it to tell me what to do, I'm being much more thoughtful about how I use the computer as a tool and how I use my office space and not chaining myself to the desk, which I felt like I had to do when I had a job and I kept doing it as an entrepreneur. So that's something I'm working on letting go of,
I love that.
giving
Just
myself permission to pick up the guitar in the middle of the day and just play a song.
yes. I love that so much. I think joy, fun, play is totally a thing I love to encourage my clients to really integrate into their business because often the work that we're doing with our clients, that's a part of what we're trying to get them to, right? More
Yeah.
joy and fulfillment in their own life. Leaders go first, people. So you got to do the work on yourself and walk in integrity with what it is that you want to be teaching, bringing to the world. So I love that so much. And also give yourself grace because it is a journey. We have to unlearn a lot of those things from previous times in our life. So, well, Dain, it was so lovely having an opportunity to chat with you to share more about you and your journey with our audience. If you're watching or listening to this, we want to personally invite you to join us at the 2024 Soulful Entrepreneur Summit. You can find more details and secure your ticket at www.getsoulfulsuccess.com. And we are really excited to see you at the end of February. Thanks again so much, Dain.
Always a pleasure. See you there.
See ya.